Hello out there. You know what time it is. It is time for the Scandal Sesh with me, Summer Rain, banker by day and fierce beauty queen by night, and my co-host.
Hey, Perry here. Little gay boy from Idaho, all grown up now in Portland, Oregon, but settling in on the RuPaul's workroom.
Oh my God, you are right there! I can't believe it. You look so good,
Well,
Elliot. Oh, just kidding.
I stole Elliot's shirt so I could sneak in here and pretend I was him and get a little behind the scenes. So what'd you think about the episode this week? We're back into the pork chop lounge and we still don't know what's going on with the losers.
We don't know what's going on. They're in the pork chop lounge and they're just chilling. And then all of a sudden, RuPaul says, no, you know, I'm excited about the season. I'm excited about the queen so far. I love that there's a losers, but it kind of feels like a season 12 starter where some queens were in the beginning, some queens were the end, like one episode, and then they came together. So I'll be interested to see what's going on. What did you think of episode 2 so far?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, like, last week was confusing. We're like, what's going on? And now we're like, okay, now she's divided them into two groups. Oh, now we have two groups. So now we're going to start off doing now it's like starting fresh again. Like, I'm excited about, like, it's funny this the winners and the losers, because like I feel like I see some winners in the losers group and I see some losers in the winners group. So
Okay, so let me ask you then, who do you see in the losers group that you would much rather see in the winners group?
I mean, Denali really surprised me last week. I'm excited to see more of her. I love Kooky, and Utica is a standout queen for me. And I mean, I think everyone's shocked Rosé's in the bottom. So no matter how I feel about her, I want to see more.
I mean, Denali had that ponytail on, but at least her ponytail stayed on you because wig line was getting a little scratchy there. But I definitely agree. I definitely think that Denali should have been in the winners group. I mean, that ice skating was so cool. And then her coming out all over Twitter, all over social media about her ice skating like that and doing backflips. Amazing. But I definitely agree. Rose should have been down there in the winners group. And she was totally shooketh. She was shooketh to her core.
Yeah. And then they vote and they vote someone out. I mean, how did you think about the voting process? Like, how would you decide who you were going to vote for?
Oh my God. I mean, just meeting the queens, the first 15 minutes, you have to decide and send somebody home. I would be like, what the hell is going on? And so I would judge it on like personality. I would judge it on, do I connect with you? Can I talk with you? And then if you do go down from there, I mean, Joey got picked on because of her chicken feathers.
I mean, Kimora picked Utica because it rhymed. She's like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, Utica, you gotta go. But like, I am actually surprised. I mean, we only saw 3 of them vote, so we don't know how the other 4 voted. But I'm kind of surprised there wasn't more votes for Rosé. Like, New York queens are always a threat. Rosé seemed very confident. I'm actually surprised they're like, let's get this confident girl out of here. They went for Elliot, which Elliot kind of gives off a confidence vibe. So maybe they were thinking she was confident, and they went for Utica, and like, maybe they just thought she was too weird.
I know, yeah. And then, so it's down to them, right? Elliot and Utica. And then now Rue's saying, okay, tiebreaker. Let's decide what's going on. So out of the 2, I know you like Utica, so you'd probably send Elliot home. But I mean, I would too. Compared to the 2, Elliot's entrance look was way too basic.
Yeah.
Way too basic compared to Utica's.
No matter who you pick at this point, like, is like Rue like on a mission to like, I'm going to crush someone. I'm going to make them lip sync and say they're going home. Then I'm gonna put all these losers in a group, and then I'm gonna make them pick a ultimate loser, and then oh, it's a tie. Now you really have to. It's like this person is just getting bashed, bashed, bashed. Like,
Right.
let's
But
make.
I couldn't like imagine what Elliot would feel like going home, or somebody feel like going home, feeling like, oh my God, I just freaking got here. And now I'm being sent home after all this time of hard work. Great, fuck my drag.
Right.
Just fuck my drag.
Well, luckily she doesn't go home because then we get to the workroom and Rue introduces or comes down to give the speech and she says, "You're gonna have another competitor and it's Elliot." I mean, I feel like by that point in time, I wasn't that surprised. I was like, oh, now I see what's going on. But now they're all in the workroom and Tina and Candy aren't having it. They're like, this bitch is a spy. Why is she here? I just think it's overproduced drama because I'm like, it's RuPaul's, there's gonna be some kind of twist. But I think it's funny how they're just like trying to make up why they hate her.
Did RuPaul actually ask Elliot with two T's, please go in there and stir some shit? I mean, they go in, Elliot comes in, but it's the mini challenge, right? So what do you know what they do for the mini challenge?
So the mini challenge is going to be a fashion runway. And we're going to have 2 looks, just like last season, starting off very familiar. This season, the runway's looks are going to be daytime, drama mama, and nighttime is the right time. So we're looking for some like easygoing day looks and some hoe it up nighttime looks.
Okay. What would you wear for an easygoing day look?
I mean, I'm in my easygoing day look. But I feel
This is
like
your interview look. This is your interview look. Like, hi, my name's Perry. I'm from Portland.
I think that the easygoing, like it's last time it was spring and fall, and I kind of was thinking like, I'm expecting the same thing. Like spring is going to be lighter, fresher, daytime, and then nighttime is going to be like fall, your darker colors. So I wasn't too surprised. I do think, I mean, Gottmik walked out telling us, okay, when they say daytime, this is daytime. Like she walked out, it's a day sky with clouds and sun, and then a rainbow, and her shoes are like grass with flowers on them. Like, I mean, she literally walked out as daytime. I was so surprised also to not see the clown white face. I was like, oh, okay.
So one of my favorites was Simone. She walked out with this black, gorgeous wig, definitely a very retro vibe. And then that suit that was like skirt suit, pantsuit with a cape, a half cape. She looked so good. She was one of my favorites. A huge standout to me.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
Candy too.
she definitely had confidence. That look just like was like businesswoman. I'm working in the day, but like it wasn't just about the outfit. It was how she walked out and sold the outfit on the runway too.
Definitely, yeah. And what were some of the ones that you did not like?
I honestly didn't like Candy's at all. I was like, what's with this wig? Like, I was thinking, I wrote down in my notes wig, but I spelled it WHIG because I was like, this looks like what they wore right in the Constitution.
I love that though. That's my favorite. Candy was definitely a standout for me. And I love the Victorian rolls and the red kind of like faded ombre lip, reverse ombre. I loved Candy's.
Yeah, I did not like it at all, and I also was kind of sad about because Olivia is one of my favorites, but her outfit just didn't fit her right. Like when she turned around, I was like, oh, that's a cute coat, but then when she turned her back forward, I was like, wait, that's not a coat, that's a dress, and it's like almost like she has a waistline, but she didn't, and it fit weird.
Very Belle.
Yeah.
Very Belle of the Ball. But she's got a little trend going on with those freaking purses. Oh my God. She even tied it into, and she was even one of my favorites in the nighttime look, with that freaking burgundy with the chocolate hair, and she's got her little matching purse. She looked So good in the nighttime. Do you have any favorites?
All right, for my favorite nighttime looks, I actually really liked Lala Ree and Simone. Both of them gave me something different, like a really big different from their first look, and they were just selling it. Lala Ree looked like she was ready to start a dominatrix party that I wanted to be at. But I also liked Elliot's dominatrix look. The only one I wasn't really like, I liked a lot of the night looks, but I wasn't really a big fan of Gottmik's. Actually, I felt like it was just kind of like after the amazing daytime look, her nighttime look was just all black. Like, I mean, she looked great, vampy, but it just didn't stand out to me.
Gottmix was one of my favorites. She was definitely very much like, this is me, one shoulder out. And she said, ever since my top surgery, I've just loved to be like, have my titties out, you know? Um, Elliot's I loved as well. Very Victorian. That's very me.
Which one didn't you like?
Some of the ones that I did not like for the nighttime was Tina. I felt it was very much like a latexy, rubbery McDonald's look. She's all into these orange, red, yellow looks. I'm not into it. I'm not into orange and yellow. I'm not into it.
Honestly, at this point, I think we can already say the next Nina West is Olivia Lux. Like, if she doesn't win this competition, she's got Miss Congeniality in the bag.
Definitely. And, Olivia's really a big standout for me. And I really love that she's only been in the game for a year and a half, which I've only been in the game for 2 years, so very close. And we both feel like we're kind of not looked up as like competitors. Like she's very much like everybody's looking past her, and I love that. We're both somebody that can sneak up and freaking kill it right when we're supposed to, right when the universe is like, this is you, this is your moment, and then you're gonna kill the competition.
At one point, like, Candy's like, who's the biggest threat? And Candy says her biggest threat is Tina. And they go through asking everybody, and half of them say Tina and half of them say Gottmik. So they're in their minds thinking Tina and Gottmik are the standouts. And like you said, Olivia, she's like, wait a second, why doesn't anybody think I'm a threat? Like, but I think one of the funniest things in this moment is Candy says, I think she's talking to Simone, because Simone's talking about worrying about remembering her choreography. And Candy says, if you mess up, you just gotta act like you didn't and show them some attitude. And then a little foreshadowing, because not too much longer, Candy's on that stage and she messes up big time and she does not show attitude. She looks so lost. Like,
like really bad loss. Talking about stage, what we're talking about is our maxi challenge. So the next day comes, RuPaul comes in and says, hey, you're doing a maxi challenge. You guys are each making a verse, and I dare you. She even was like, go on and do it. I dare you. I was so intimidated. I was like, for the fun of it, let me try to sit down and write a verse for this song. But I was like, hell no, couldn't do it. No, couldn't do it. No. And they're challenged to do this and then dance and perform all of this as well. So they have a new girl that comes in, they do a mini challenge that's 2 looks, now a maxi challenge of a whole performance. I would be freaking kicking my heels on the floor, freaking pulling my hair out of my wigs, freaking out.
but I mean, they have to be ready for this. Like, she, at some point in every season, they have to write a verse. And last season they did it in the first episode. This season, and they're doing it at the beginning again. You know what? I think next week they're going to be doing Phenomenon. You should write your own verse for Phenomenon, and I'll write my like. Now I'm giving you a whole week. Let's do our own verses.
Girl, we saw that what they're doing. Okay, I'll do it. Oh my god, that means.
But anyway, so they talk about who is a writer, and like Olivia says, I'm a writer, a music writer. Tina Burner, she used to be in a boy band, so she should be able to write lyrics. Like,
wait, Tina Burner used to be in a boy band?
Yeah, I think she said last episode that like 20 years ago. I guess Tina used to be a twink. I don't know. Like, we'll have to try to find a picture of that. But Tina used to be in a boy band, and she says all the boy bands get sent to Switzerland, and they're stuck in Switzerland until they come out with a hit or something. But must not have been a big enough hit because she didn't last. Like, that boy band's long gone.
Girl, I'm gonna take a big hit right now. I was totally excited about Olivia in this performance. Like, she was saying in her meet and greet, she loves live music, she loves to do keyboard. So to be able to incorporate that and to be able to have a chance to shine just goes to show that she's my top runner. She's my get to go girl. You even said in the beginning when we first started this, even us backstage, that you were like, the first time I met Olivia, I knew she was going to be on Drag Race.
Yeah, she has star quality for sure. And she's still, like, I still stand by that. She's definitely still one of my favorites. Like, some of the other queens I didn't know anything about are standing out to me just because I'm learning about them. But Olivia is for sure, like, already stolen my heart. And as a boy, she's adorable. Like, I want to be her friend. I want to take her on a date. I want to be in the audience.
Yeah, I want to eat her up. I want to be at her doorstep. Yes, ma'am. And so they go to the stage, they have to practice choreography. Gottmik realizes, oh my God, the lyrics that I wrote says, I was born a girl baby. Gottmik is trans. This is huge for RuPaul's Drag Race, you know? And even in her nighttime, you can see that she has some tape there by her scar. And she's even very vocal about all of this. What do you think about this whole, this new side of RuPaul's Drag Race?
I'm super excited that we finally are at a point where we're seeing trans representation on RuPaul's Drag Race. It's been a long time coming, and I'm not shocked. Like, the fandom has been screaming for it, and although, like, we've had people before they transition or they started their transition on the show or soon after, and then we had Gia Gunna and All Stars, it was time for on the actual show, like, and Gottmik is there to represent. I can't even imagine what's going through his head when he's like he's saying his gender dysmorphia doesn't normally get to him, and he's just like in a deer in the headlights, stunned by it, and he's struggling. But I love when they're backstage, and once again, Olivia, Miss Congeniality, they get to have a little chat, and we Gottmik finally gets that opportunity to tell his fellow competitors, and they get to have a little chat about it.
Yeah, they talk about, it's really important to talk about pronouns and to be really inclusive with everybody. And that's the chance that Olivia and Gottmik had. They said, Olivia said, what's your pronouns? I am he and him outside of drag, and she and her inside of drag. And he's like, it's the exact same way. And when people try to say he when she's in drag or he's in drag, when they really try to say he, they're like calling him out, like really, like, just say he. It doesn't matter. This is a guy. This is a trans man, And Gottmik is. I just love the way that RuPaul is changing, and now it's time for a bearded queen.
Yeah, a bearded queen to come. No, I agree with you. Like, I think that it was great that we have that conversation because representation matters, and there's many kids out there that don't know how to approach that conversation, and so now they got to see it represented on their favorite TV show, and Gottmik got to explain how they felt. When he's one of the boys, he's one of the boys, and when he's putting on makeup, he's one of the girls. Like, I'm excited that is out there and on mainstream television now. Summer, I haven't asked you yet. What pronouns do you go by?
Well, thank you so much for asking, Perry. The pronouns I go by outside of drag are he and him, and inside of drag as Summer Rayne, fierce bearded queen, is she and her. Usually, sometimes they or them, but that's what I go by. What about you?
I typically go by he, him pronouns, but I'm also okay with, I work in a gay bar, so you can call me any pronoun and I'm not offended, but If you ask me, he, him.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much. But now we're in a maxi challenge, and now the queens are performing. Now they're getting to it. They're performing Congratulations by RuPaul. Looking at the queens, you're seeing the performances. Who really stood out to you in the performance of Congratulations?
100% Olivia Lux. I mean, her outfit, she's got those shimmering gold tassels shaken. She's drawing attention to herself. Her lyrics were great. Tina Burner also had some good lyrics. Like, I think the whole idea here was your lyrics are supposed to talk about you, and they actually told us who they were. Simone also. Some of the other queens, they were just like, I'm sorry, but Candy Muse, she was just saying the same thing every queen says when they do a lyrics. Give me the crown, I'm the winner, I'm the best. Like, that didn't tell me anything about Candy. That just tells me that she thinks that she's the shit, and her shit stink on that lyric.
Girl, her shit seems so bad. You know, they were talking in the workroom earlier about how she's like an adjacent Rue girl. Like Tina called her out and was like, Candy, you think that you're a Rue girl coming in here. And she's totally right. Like Candy thinks that she's like got this fame already, which she does. She's known, but that doesn't mean anything. And it only matters of what you're performing on RuPaul's Drag Race. And she did not do well. I couldn't hear a thing. Couldn't understand her. And she even forgot some of the choreography when she was performing. So it was like boom and boom, done and done.
Luckily, I watched it with closed captioning on, so the second time around, I could see what she was actually saying.
Some of my favorites in that performance of Congratulations were Olivia. I mean, she killed it. That bodysuit and that hair, she looked so good. And Elliot super stepped up for me. I mean, compared to what he was doing at the beginning of the episode, which I thought he was a super bitch about, now he's really stepping up with his choreography. I mean, he's super loose, he's super into it. And I'm kind of like representing the cheetahs, so we're kind of like twins right now.
Oh, so you did the Elliot's performance look, and I did the Elliot's boy look.
That's us right now. Yes. I didn't put it together until now. We totally correlated this.
Yeah,
Totally.
it was planned for sure. And speaking of looks, the runway, it was the May You Stay.
Oh my God. Some of those looks. I mean, I'm sure you could just look up LeMay and build whatever you want from it. What were some of your favorites?
Gottmik walked out, and I was like, this outfit, and like Ross says later, iconic, and it is definitely going to be an iconic look. Lala Ree, that gold lame, she like was a star. And then Simone, definitely one of the two that did something different, and hers really stood out. She showing her attitude. She's still being her, but it was LeMay boxing. Tina also did something different, but to me, I was like, it was very well executed, but not that original to me.
Yeah, I think that Simone had a really good approach, but knowing season 12 and Gigi Good and knowing that they literally live in the same house, the same physical residence, they probably have the same mailing address. It's very much Gigi Good, very much like the unexpected but fashion. So you get this boxer outfit with the high heels. She kills it, and everybody's got these fucking long ass braids. I mean, I should have wore a long braid today instead of this hair, instead of short hair. But Olivia, one of my absolute favorites in the freaking water lily. Lala with that gorgeous, I mean, just like Ross said, and he's slamming on the counter, this is drag. This is drag, like the big hair. And then Jamal was saying that, I wonder where she's from, Atlanta, very much Atlanta. Nicole Page Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia, and she'll never go hungry again.
Michelle just wanted to unwrap her like a piece of chocolate.
Oh, and I know she's growing on me. She's a little quiet in the workroom, but when she gets on stage, that's where she really lights up. And even in the performance, she kind of did really well. But she didn't really stand out like some of the other performers did.
Her lyrics were, "I'm going to gag you with my runway," though, and at least like she's following through with what her lyrics said.
Yeah, like her meet and greet, she was like, "I'm gonna gag around the runway, girl. I'm gonna gag around the runway, girl. You know, toss my hair just to see them boys, girl." I love her personality.
All right, so now that we've seen all the looks, we've seen their mini challenge, the runway, and the maxi challenge. Who are your tops and the bottoms for this week?
The tops and the bottoms for this week, even though, well, no. Simone is definitely the top. Olivia is definitely the top. Tina really showed it for me on the runway when she came out with that silver, like, Tin Man with the rhinestoned heart, and really gave up that whole, like, and even Michelle and Ross were like, "I'm so happy it's not fucking Ronald McDonald's birthday party." Um, so I think Olivia is definitely a forerunner, and Simone for sure. Simone's got that star quality that RuPaul was talking about. Huge star quality. It just comes natural. She can kind of sing. She doesn't really dance, but like she does like these moves that really go with the songs. So she's definitely a forerunner. Candy, she didn't impress me at all. She's not impressing me. So she's definitely in the bottoms, as well as Elliot. Um, and I'm excited for the next episode.
Yeah, I think my tops this week, for sure, Simone. I honestly thought Gottmik was going to be in the top. Even though she was a little nervous in her maxi challenge, her lyrics were great, but her runway, like, iconic. Like um, the I feel like the little bit she slipped, the runway made up for it. So I was thinking Simone and Gottmik were going to be the top two, but Olivia was definitely a close third for me. Um, some of her outfits didn't just fit her right, but she sells them like with her personality. Um, and for the bottom, yeah, Candy. I can't believe like I didn't like Candy in the Meet the Queens. And then week one, I was like, oh my God, Candy is killing it. Like, and then this episode, I'm like, no, Candy's not killing it. So she's been on a roller coaster for me. But this week she was in the bottom. And I think the other queen, I think in the bottom this week, I mean, I'll agree with you on Elliot, but like I was just I don't agree with the girls' consensus that it was going to be Gottmik. I don't know who else I would like. It was just clear for me, Candy.
Candy came out in that basic little purple 90, very much Austin Powers fembot. It was cute, but it's not uh, like knowing the caliber, like compared to what she was doing on the mini challenge, it was not compared. Like it was so like it is a 90. You're sleeping on this challenge. You're actually sleeping on this challenge.
Yeah.
You're pulling a Jinx on soon.
So they didn't have any bottoms though. RuPaul decides no losers this week. Very familiar to last season. But I'm kind of shocked. I'm like, oh, okay, this is our second episode. We've seen these girls twice now. Like um, I'm ready for an elimination. But I want to say before I say something else, she said this earlier in the episode, but she tells all the queens after she introduces Elliot and she talks about the pork chop and being a loser. She reminds them that no matter what you see online, no matter how well you do in this competition, just remember that you're never a loser. You're always a winner. And I think that was really important because in the past, we're starting to see more and more online bullying with these girls. And I'm glad that she kind of addressed it. It was a little touchy moment. I almost teared up a little. Thank you, RuPaul, for the tears. But I'm glad that everybody needs to remember, yeah, being a teenager behind a keyboard anonymously, you're not strong. You're weak. Don't go for bullying. That's not fun.
Yeah, and I think it just speaks to the climate nowadays in the world, right? Like we're all virtual, we're all at home, and it's so easy to type away your feelings. And it's just, you've got to think about who's on the other opposite side of that.
Yeah.
It's some other person, and it's a human. You can't be like that. So I appreciated that too, and it was a sincere moment. And I appreciate that being on RuPaul's Drag Race on VH1 on a Friday at 8:45. So they just announced the top two, just like you said. And I'm super nervous, but I'm super happy about the outcome. And Simone kills it. She really I could just watch her do that and just perform. I could watch her perform. And it was Dua Lipa, which is my absolute favorite. But Olivia, to me, kind of this is where her amateur drag really came out. And she was very exaggerated with her movements to kind of make up for the fact that she was in a dress, which maybe that could have been the circumstance, but Simone definitely killed that lip sync.
They were lip syncing to Dua Lipa, and they were having a lot of fun. Olivia decided she was going to take like the campy route, and she's just like being cutesy about it, and it was fun to watch. But Simone actually like looked like she was singing, like she was into it. Like I was watching and I kept thinking, it reminded me of that show that just happened or started last year called Can You Hear This Voice, where they're like, there's a bunch of people competing and most of them are lip syncing, but one of them actually singing, and you're trying to figure out which one's the actual singer. And like, if this was the case, Simone was for sure the actual singer and Olivia was just lip syncing. Like,
oh, absolutely. I mean, Simone just I actually felt like, and you could see the girls in the background, like Elliot and Candy. Candy could not stop looking at Simone. And that's totally how I felt with Simone. She totally has that all-star quality that just really draws me to her performance. And I just really love her performance. Clearly, I love throwing my hands around too. And so Simone wins the lip sync and
$5,000.
And 5,000 doll hairs.
Yeah. And now we're left with no queens eliminated, and we have to wait till next week to see the losers.
So my prediction for next episode, you see that little clip at the end, you see the queens come into the workroom, and it's their time to shine, their time to perform. I'm really excited to see what's going on, and I'm excited to see Joey J there, and she looks so motherfucking cute. Oh my God, Joey J is so cute.
So predictably they'll probably do a runway. They'll do another RuPaul song group choreographed number, which we already know is going to be phenomenon. And how do you think that they're going to do in that?
Well, they're going to kill it. They're all going to kill it. I love to say that. They're all going to kill it. I don't even know what's going on. I think really what's going to stand out for me, because Rose is a singer and a songwriter, just like Olivia, she's going to be a standout for me. So maybe a redemption spot for her. But Kimora Hall doesn't seem to me like very much of a dancer or a lip syncer or a songwriter. So I'm sure she's going to be in the bottom. She's more of a look queen than really a performance queen.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Tamisha's going to struggle with this. I wouldn't be surprised to see Tamisha or Joey in the bottom again. I think Rose is going to be a great singer. And I think with the runways, we're finally going to get to see how Utica's kookiness shows up in her fashion. I think we're going to be surprised by that. So I'm looking forward to next week.
Next
stay tuned.
Episode 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race.
And episode 3 of the Scandal Sesh. Thanks for joining me.
Bye.